Hey, Gilbert. Thank you for coming. All right. I'm trying to do these lives where I don't have to do too much setting up or too much waiting for people to join. So whoever doesn't have a chance to join at the beginning of these sessions will be able to catch it during its lives, well, during the stream, okay? Can't stay on too long or too late because I work in the morning. I keep forgetting. Your sister keeps telling me, she keeps reminding me, and I keep forgetting. I am going to pick one up on my way home after work tomorrow. So just bear with me. So guys, hi Jamie, welcome. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Hope everything's going well for you guys. So let's just get into it with the intro. Welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. It's your girl Erica, here to give you the deets on the details of what it is that you need to learn about narcissistic abuse and any kind of abuse. Doesn't just have to be narcissistic. It could be any kind of abuse. Heather, you made it. Welcome, sweetheart. If you are new to the channel, stick around. You might hear something that you need to know. And of course, my battery. Oh, God. I'm having bad luck with batteries. If you're new to the channel, stick around. You might hear something that you need to know. And of course, go through some of my content. If you find it to be helpful and resourceful, then please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you're updated every time I put up a video. And of course, every time I do a live. And of course, to all of my returning subscribers, everybody who supports the channel, welcome back, guys. So just a few announcements before I just, dive into it. A lot of you know that I did post up on the community board that I'm going to be putting up a video of my story, my personal story. And it is going to take me a little bit. I started recording it yesterday, but I started to get a little too triggered and a little too amped up and a little too angry that I had to stop recording because I don't want to record in that kind of energy. So yes, even though we are survivors, we can still have that residual energy. We can still have those, those little feelings inside of us. I mean, it's bound to happen. I didn't punch the wall, Gil. I punched the wall. I didn't punch the wall. But I am gonna try to record it by later on this week so I can post it up for you guys. And it's just, I'm hoping that it'll be a short video where I, give you my experiences and, the kind of effect that it had on me. And hi, Drea, welcome. Glad you were able to make it. So, just so you guys can know that I do understand, I do resonate, and mostly so you can understand why it is I do what I do. Because, well, we were all once victims, and of course we're survivors. So, it's just important to know that I'm not just doing it from a standpoint of, knowledge and books and things to that effect. I'm doing it from a standpoint of experience. Okay. So guys, today's live, we're going to talk about a few things. And it's going to be kind of mixed in because I'm trying to cover bases for different people going through different situations. Not everybody's going through a romantic relationship or, or have had romantic relationships with narcissists. A lot of people have gone through it with family members, close friends, anybody outside of romantic relationships. So I always want to make sure I cover bases on everything, everybody's situation. Now, just to dive into it, the first thing we're going to talk about is the narcissist family. All right. I know that you guys hear me mention a lot of different things about, different roles of a narcissist family: scapegoat, golden child, black sheep, lost child. So I kind of just wanted to give a little briefing on the narcissist family because, if you think you're dealing with family members who are narcissists, if you think that, you're trying to figure out where your role is in the whole dynamic, then, just stick around because, you might be one of these many characters that are part of a narcissist family. So just keep in mind, though you may be part of a narcissist family, that does not necessarily make you a narcissist, okay? We have a lot of people who have been in narcissist family dynamics that are not narcissists, but they are enduring narcissistic abuse, or, you know, they're enduring some form of CPTSD or even PTSD. We're going to get into that too. So part of the narcissist family, of course, who do we have on top? The narcissist. The narcissist is the tyrant of the family. He or she, which can be mom or dad, is the one who is in control of everything. They're in control of the dynamics. They're in control of how everything operates. So needless to say, if your father is a narcissist, your father is more than likely very dominant, very domineering, very controlling, okay, has a very bad temper, very extremely hot-tempered, hot-headed, must have everything done in a particular way, in a particular manner, based on how he wants it done, based on how he says it should be done. And of course, if you do not comply with him, he will become very furious, very enraged. Most narcissist fathers, though they are, you know, they portray themselves as a family man, a lot of the time narcissist fathers really don't want much to do with their family unless it's, you know, appealing. They're doing things to appeal to him. They're providing him supply, or he's able to use them in whatever way he can use them. A lot of the time narcissist fathers like to spend most of their time outside of the family, outside of the dynamics. The only reason he is part of the family is because he needs to give the impression that he has some form of normality. And he usually lives an idealistic type of life. So if you notice how narcissists are very unrealistic with the ideas of how they perceive themselves. Now, we know that narcissists are very, you know, egotistical, very self-absorbed, very self-centered. They think that, you know, they're special. They think they are better than everyone else. That is, of course, them boosting their own ego. And of course, because they manage to utilize manipulation on other people, they have other people believing that as well. So it's kind of like subliminal messaging in a way, where a narcissist can subliminally have you believing what they believe. All right. They're very good at that, guys. So you have to be very careful, because they can easily slither. They're snakes. They're chameleons. You know, they adapt to the environment. They adapt to whatever it is that the situation calls for. And of course, because they are able to do this, they're able to get into your mind. They're able to really do a lot of damage if they really wanted to. So be very careful. Now, if your mom is the narcissist, we've learned a lot about narcissist mothers. You know, mom is the one who is pretty much, she's also the dominant one, but she really likes to portray herself as the one that, you know, I'm mom, I take care of everybody, I take care of everything, and now it's your time, you know, your turn to take care of me. Naturally, if your mother was a narcissist or is a narcissist, your mother would pretty much make you feel guilty if you wanted to have your own autonomy, make you feel guilty if you wanted to be independent, make you feel guilty if you did not want to give her supply. So a lot of narcissistic mothers, you know, I explained to you guys that narcissist parents look at their children as, you know, little servants. They're there to serve them. And parents who are narcissists will go to any lengths to have their children take care of them, and have no problem making their children, whether they be younger or even older. So it doesn't just mean children as in little children. We're talking adult children as well. Narcissist parents have no problems making their kids feel guilty about not really wanting to completely devote themselves, completely surrender themselves to take care of the parent, to take care of the responsibilities that really the parents should be taking care of. All right. Now we have the enabler. The enabler is usually the codependent. The enabler is pretty much what I call the servant. They are there to serve the narcissist. Okay. So not just the kids, but the enabler, the spouse, the mate. Enablers can be children as well. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. Enablers can be children as well. They can be, you know, the husband, wife, you know, they could be the son, daughter, it could be a grandmother, it can be an aunt, it could be an uncle, it can be anybody. Enablers can be anyone. And an enabler is one who pretty much runs with the narrative of what the narcissist has basically put in the rule book. Okay, the narcissist has a rule book. You have to follow those rules. Now, the enabler, the codependent, is the one who tries to keep everything on an even keel. All right, so they're there to clean up any messes. They're there to try to, keep everything calm and steady, even though the environment can be toxic, because a narcissist, we know how a lot of them like to operate. And considering that they would have an enabler in their life, they are pretty much pushing the envelope beyond belief. That means, they could be cheating on the person. They could be abusing the person, physically. We already know they abuse them emotionally and mentally, but they could be doing a lot of different things. And that reward and punishment behavior. So if you have the narcissist, and then you have the enabler. The narcissist may be, I don't know, Monday he could be, really pissed off and take out his anger on everyone. And then, Tuesday he's all happy coming home with roses for his wife, and it's all good, I love you, and all that bullshit, because we all know what bullshit is. It's bullshit. But this confuses the enabler, because that person is being rewarded and punished. So what the enabler pretty much tries to do is, the enabler tries to keep the narcissist happy. They try to keep them in a good space so they can avoid being punished. Okay, the enabler is basically walking on eggshells. They are not stating their opinions. They're not opening their mouths. They're not doing anything to change the dynamic. All they're doing is they are following the role that they were given. Now, an enabler is, of course, the codependent, which is, of course, someone who does not have any kind of form of self-love. So naturally, because they have no self-love, because they fear abandonment, because they fear having to face, codependents walk with internal fear. So they fear a lot of different things. Independence is one of them. All right. And by independence, I mean emotional independence, because they really don't, they lack, what's the word for it? They not that they lack the drive, but the confidence. They lack the confidence to be able to have independence in all aspects of their lives. That's why they deal with a narcissist, because even though they are being abused, at the end of the day, the narcissist knows how to go back and forth. The narcissist knows how to tell the enabler the things that they want to hear to keep them to stay. When enablers can actually, if you were ever an enabler, if you were ever a codependent, you are a lot stronger than you think. So just remember that. And they can actually get out of that dynamic, but unfortunately, they're too scared to do it. The next one is the golden child. Now, the golden child is the high praised child, okay? That's the one that the narcissist projects their unrealistic thoughts of themselves. So that's the one that they put on the high pedestal, okay? They are basically projecting everything, the narcissist is projecting everything that they believe about themselves, but that is not necessarily true. They believe certain high things about themselves that they are projecting onto the golden child. And because the golden child, well, the golden child gets the title golden child because they are complying fully with the narcissist. 9 out of 10 times, the golden child will be an up-and-coming narcissist, okay? Because their ego is so boosted and so stroked, because they're already giving to the narcissist parent what they want, whatever supply it is that they want. The narcissist parent is equally boosting up their ego and possibly putting them a little too high up there. Okay, it's okay to, stroke your kid's ego to give them some form of confidence, but it's another thing if you are pushing them to the point where they're thinking that they're better than other people. Yes, it is true, Andre. I mean, it's you have to, if you have children, it is a good thing to give your children confidence, but don't overdo it. Do not push them to a point where they are thinking to themselves that they are better than everyone else. And therefore, because they are better than everyone else, they should be able to get everything they want, when they want, how they want it. And telling them no is a problem. That is what creates a very self-centered, egotistical, egocentric person that nobody really wants to be around. This is why narcissists have to utilize manipulation. You get it? They have to utilize manipulation because they know that genuine people, humble people, don't want to be around people like that. You don't want to be around someone who looks at themselves consistently, whether it be in the mirror, you know, or constantly boasting about themselves. It's annoying. It's annoying, and it's just like you're a little too full of yourself. So that's the main reason why a lot of narcissists use lies, why they mirror you, why they try to appeal to what it is that, you know, what it is that you like, because they do not want you to know this is really how they see themselves. And the reason they see themselves this way is because whoever the narcissist was in their life projected that onto them. And that's an unrealistic projection. It's very unrealistic. But, you know, if you have a narcissist parent, chances are, depending on how many kids they have and depending on, even it could be, well, you know, let me retract that. It could be you can have, you know, one child. The narcissist can have one child. And depending on when that child decides to supply the narcissist and feed into the narcissist is going to put them on the pedestal, you know? So most children do not want to be taken off a pedestal when it comes to their parents. So what are they going to do? They're going to appease the narcissist. They're going to try to gratify the narcissist the best way they can. Unfortunately, when it boils down to certain parents, they give the impression to their kids that you're never really going to be like me. You know, you're never going to really amount to me. And that is what pushes the children to go even further in trying to. So you got to be careful with it too, guys, because a narcissist parent can overinflate their children, or they can be inconsistent with the inflation, where the child is therefore going to just take matters into their own hands. Well, you're not inflating my ego, so I have to do it. And I have to do it double time, because I have to prove to not only myself, but prove to you that I have what it takes to be just like you. You got a narcissist parent, you don't want to be anything like them, okay? We already know how narcissists are. We don't want to be anything like them, trust me. Now, the next child is the scapegoat. I know a lot of you are familiar with scapegoat, okay? The scapegoat is the one who gets the blame for everything. Everything that is going wrong in the narcissist parent's life. Everything that the narcissist, because we know narcissists they don't like to take accountability. They like to deflect. They like to put the blame on everyone else. So if there are failures, it's everyone else's fault. If there are successes, then it's the narcissist doing. Well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be successful. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you are today. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have all that you have. But of course, if you were to ever fail in life, well, you didn't get that from me. You must have gotten it from your other parent, because you didn't get it from me. Okay? If a narcissist feels that their life is not going the way they want it to go, they will take it out on the child. They will scapegoat the child. Well, my relationship didn't work out because you don't know how to be a good kid, because you're too bratty, or you're too this, or you're too that. Never mind the fact that they were doing all kinds of crap to push that person away, but they're going to blame their children, because it's easier to pass blame onto someone else than it is to accept accountability for whatever issues it is that they have in their lives. Okay, and unfortunately, the scapegoat in the family dynamic becomes the victim of flying monkeys, becomes the victim of all kinds of lies, slander, gossip, anything that the narcissist can point towards that child, they become a victim to it. Okay, Andrea says, my ex-narc's mother is a narcissist. Yeah, and that's just it. If something is wrong, if the child does not succeed at something, or whatever the expectation was of the narcissist, then of course, it's never the narcissist's fault. At the end of the day, if you're a parent and your child is trying to do their best, you encourage them one way or another. Even if they did not succeed, you encourage them. But a narcissist parent will make it inherently known to the child that they are a failure. They will make it known to the child that they're a failure. And if they spend their life destroying their child's hopes and dreams and even their lives, because narcissists can destroy their kids' lives. They can put so many burdens onto their children because they feel they have the right to do so. And if the child does not succeed in life as a whole, the narcissist had nothing to do with it. That's their claim. That had nothing to do with me. I didn't tell you to do this. I didn't tell you to do that. Meantime, they've been manipulating their children, gaslighting their children. When people are gaslit, you're not directly, to gaslight someone, you're not being direct with someone. You're going around things. You understand? So you're not being direct with your child if you are if you're expecting your child to take care of you throughout your life, but yet that means that your child can't go to college. Let's just say, for example, the narcissist parents will make it their child's responsibility, and where the child has to sit there and say to themselves, I could either go to college or I have to take care of my mom or my dad. There are alternatives, but of course the narcissist is not going to go for those alternatives if it means you taking care of them. Now, there could be other people who can take care of these parents, and you can go on with your life and you can go on and be a success. But if it's not you in particular taking care of your narcissist mother or even your narcissist father, and you make a suggestion of, Mom, Dad, listen, you got so many different places that can help, or so many different people that can help. I want to go to school. I want to do this. I want to do that. What is the narcissist parent going to do? They're going to make you feel like you're abandoning them. They're going to make you feel like you don't care about them. They're going to make you feel like, oh, that's all you care about. Can't you see that I'm sick? Can't you see I'm ill? Can't you see I need help? I took care of you all your life and you can't. Narcissist parents are very, very good at instilling guilt. They would put guilt onto you for doing something that you want to do with your own life. Narcissists, period, they do that. They instill guilt. Oh, go run. Go ahead and run. Go and abandon me. Go leave me because you know what? You don't care about me. And of course, being the child that you are, you don't want to have your parent thinking that, I don't care about you. Of course I do. You're my parent. You gave me life. But I do also have to do certain things with myself. A narcissist parent doesn't care about that. They care about you taking care of them. Plain and simple. Unfortunately, I listen, we could take care of our parents, which is great, if we can do so, but the parent also has to be compromising. They have to compromise and say, you know what, my child wants to make a success of themselves, and whatever they can do to help me, I will be more than gracious. I'll be more than, than grateful. Narcissist parents won't do that, unfortunately. Now, the next one you have is the lost child. The lost child, and of course, this is like a group, like if there's more than one child, maybe more than 2 or 3. The lost child is pretty much the child that's in the cut, okay? So if the narcissist parent has at least 2 children, the scapegoat and the golden child, to obviously the golden child to project their unrealistic projections onto and inflate their ego, and the scapegoat to blame them for everything and make them the fall guy. You got another child. That's a possibility. Not saying it's a guarantee. They're known as the lost child. They're known as the ones that are not really noticeable. Like, they don't get involved in anything. The narcissist doesn't really involve them in anything. And believe it or not, the lost child is actually, out of the 3 children, the lost child is the one that has a better chance of having a healthy relationship with other people. Knowing that the dynamic is not a good dynamic and it's not their forte, they would still probably have to get some kind of therapy, because having parents like that, you still have to have therapy. It doesn't matter what role you play. But their chances of having a more attached relationship, a more emotionally attached relationship, is probably a lot greater than the one of the golden child and the scapegoat, because the golden child and the scapegoat are obviously being utilized heavily by the narcissist parent. The lost child is just the one that's just like, don't ask, don't tell. That's pretty much how it is. Don't ask, don't tell. I'm not getting involved in it. You're not involving me in it. So I'm just going to go in this direction. Now, the next one is, well, we are all familiar with black sheep. We're all familiar with the black sheep. And the black sheep is the one that is not only not going to be affiliated with the abuse, not only is not going to be a part of the family, but will actually get up and leave. They will actually just basically say, this is not only not, is this not healthy, but they can see the manipulation, they can see the lies, they can see all of the toxicity. They're the ones who have their eyes wide open, okay? Sometimes scapegoats do turn into black sheep because after some point of abuse going on, they do turn to black sheep. And of course, the lost child, well, it's probably, you know, it's probably inherent that that's probably what they'll turn to as well. But the black sheep is the one who does not want anything to do with the family, does not want anything to do with the dynamics of the family. Because every time if they come around, there's always something different, there's always something new. And of course, if the black sheep should decide, I just don't want to be a part of this, I don't want to be a part of this dynamic, we're done. What the narcissist is going to do is they're going to basically recruit their flying monkeys, which are other family members, be it if it's sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, what have you. They're going to recruit flying monkeys and fill up their head with all types of lies, all types of, you know, gaslighting, you name it. They're going to fill their heads up, because if the black sheep becomes the narcissist target, they obviously need, you know, they need all of these other people to be on their side. A narcissist is not one who likes to fight alone. They're not one who, we learn that narcissists are cowards, okay? They're extreme cowards. And of course, you have to be a coward if you're going to utilize manipulation to get what you want, instead of just being real about it and being real with yourself. But they will recruit other family members to think a certain way about the black sheep, to react a certain way towards the black sheep, and they will triangulate, which means that they will go to other family members and say certain things to the family members. But we know that narcissistic parents will cover up any type of abuse, any type of shaming, any type of, you know, manipulation, any type of, what's the word for it? Oh, I just had it at the tip of my tongue too. You know, any type of lies that they have, they're going to cover it up with a form of concern. So they're going to make sure that what they say and do, it's not really traceable to what their true intentions are. Okay, so if they're looking to hurt people, they're not really going to be forthcoming and come flat out. They're going to create certain types of facades and dynamics. May not even be true, maybe partially, I don't know, but they will go to other family members. They'll triangulate, go to other family members, talk something about whomever it is that is their target, and know that those family members are going to go back to that person. It's going to get back to that person's ear. That's what triangulation is for them. They know it's going to get back to that person's ear. And of course, a lot of families, the problem that a lot of families have is when everybody's talking about everybody, it's like, no, I can't keep my mouth shut. No, you're going to talk shit about me. I can't keep my mouth shut. So what happens is, after all that triangulation, once it gets to that person's ears, and obviously that person does not like what they're hearing, they're going to go and confront the narcissist. They're going to go and confront the parents. And of course, the narcissist is going to basically flip everything around. So after all the triangulation is done, after all the gossiping and everything's said and done, the narcissist has already influenced the flying monkeys, has already influenced family members. They're going to flip everything around on the person who is confronting them and say, But what did I do? What did I say? I didn't say anything, you know, I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say, because you know what? Even so, even though the narcissist will say one thing or a few things to one person, this is what we got to understand, guys, especially if you have family members who are heavy into gossip, okay? When it gets from person, if there's, let's say, 5 people, the narcissist talks to the first person. Whatever the narcissist said is going to get to the last person, but there's either going to be stuff added, stuff taken away, and it's basically because that's what the narcissist is looking to do. They already know that if you're telling one person and that one person has a big mouth and they're telling another person and that person tells another person, first and foremost, you're going to get what the narcissist said, but you're going to get a whole boatload of other shit. Okay? That's enough to make someone be very reactive, very confrontive. And that's enough for a person, when it gets to that person's ear, for them to confront the narcissist. Well, I'm hearing that you said this and you said that, and of course they turn it around. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything like that. No, maybe the narcissist didn't say anything like that, but they know how other people are. They know how other family members are. So they know that people are going to add things to it and people are going to take away things to it. And this is all done at their, you know, for their own amusement. This is all done for them to gain the attention, because when you respond, they flip it. They say, listen, this person, you know, my daughter, my son, whatever, they flipped on me. I didn't do anything wrong. What did I do to deserve this? I didn't deserve that treatment. You see how they are? They're very unstable. They're very, you know, they're very confrontational. That's all a ploy. It's all a ploy to get you to react. When I tell you guys, don't react, respond, but don't react. Because reacting means that you can get emotional. You can get extremely emotional, whether it's your parent or not. And you can end up, even though it's not intentional, you can end up looking like the bad person, because not only did the narcissist already groom everybody, but now they flipped it around, and because you're being pissed off and you're being reactive, now everybody's looking at you like, okay, the narc was right. They were right. Look at how crazy you're getting. Look at how, you know, look at how you're acting, and you're basically feeding into what the narcissist originally planned, which was to have you look like a crazy person. All right. And I don't know about you guys, but if you have a lot of people who have parents that narcissists, sociopaths, pathological liars, just manipulators, they know how to run with the narratives, and they know how to make people feel like they're, you know, that they're not, they know how to make you feel like you are taking advantage of them. You are, you know, abusing their parental, I guess their parental characteristics or qualities, or, you know, being the children, we're unappreciative, we're ungrateful, you know, we don't appreciate anything that our parents do. We don't do, you know, it's just always about them. They play the victim very well, extremely well. So just be careful, especially, or if you're dealing with someone, because you could be dealing with someone who has narcissistic parents. Doesn't mean that your parents are narcissists. Maybe you're dating someone who has a parent who is a narcissist, or you're dating someone who has people in their lives that are narcissists. If you are, understand something. You got to be very careful with that dynamic, because those people who have family members like that, they are used to that. They're accustomed to certain behaviors, certain things being done. And they may or may not be a narcissist, but trust and believe, what they've learned in that dynamic, they can apply it to you. So especially if you have people that really like feel like that, have that real attachment, that strong attachment, even an unhealthy attachment with their parents, they can use that on you. Hi, relax. Welcome, hun. So, guys, now that we have the Narc family out of the way and you understand, you know, you understand a little bit more in detail, look for these types of signs, especially if you're dating, especially if you're in relationships. Look for a lot of different signs, because these types of people, you know, I me personally, I have dated, you know, I dated someone who has family members that clearly demonstrated these types of behaviors. And of course, I was not aware of narcissism. I was not aware of narcissists. I'm not thinking that far ahead. And I've learned in that family dynamic who the narcissist was. I learned who the black sheep was. I learned who the flying monkeys were. I learned who everybody was in this list. I learned who everybody was in that family dynamic. And if I had known then what I know now, trust and believe, I wouldn't have gotten involved, because people like that are very conniving, very manipulative. And listen, if these types of people don't mind hurting their own family and that's their blood, trust and believe they're not going to have a problem hurting you. Yeah, they're very dysfunctional. It's a very dysfunctional dynamic. Especially if, like, you know, you got to pay attention. I told you guys before, pay attention to how they talk to one another. Pay attention to how they are around one another. Okay? Pay attention to a lot of different, just a lot of different things, because a lot of different behaviors, a lot of different, you know, demonstrations, plays. It's like a play. It's like you're watching a play. You're a person standing on the outside and you're watching a very dramatic play, and you're just sitting here like, what the hell is this all about? You know, or if you see how they're talking to one another, they're abusing one another, may not be physically abusing, but they may be verbally abusing one another. And you're sitting there like, that's not how a family talks to one another. That's not how a family does things with one another. What is this about? You know, pay very close attention, extremely close attention. And guys, pay close attention to unhealthy attachments with someone that you're dealing with their parents, because you may look at it as, oh, this person is, you know, attached, because, you know, like how we have, you know, how some people say mama's boy, daddy's girl, you know, like that can also be a result of a very unhealthy attachment. Okay. That is a very unhealthy attachment. Okay. When you feel more obligated to take care of your parents rather than encouraged, rather than enthusiastic, rather than, you know, I love my parent, I want to take care of them. When you feel more obligated in a certain dynamic, when it boils to your parents, that's an unhealthy attachment. Obligation is not how you should feel when it boils down to taking care of your family. Okay? You do it because you want to do it, not because you're obligated to do it. You know, I say obligatory duty if it means helping people get out of toxic situations, abusive situations. Yes, that is your obligatory duty because that is your family. But when it boils down to a parent telling their child, well, if you don't take care of me, everybody in the family is going to look at you like, you know, you're selfish, you're ungrateful, you know, and people walk with that mentality. They walk with that, I don't want people to look at me like I'm not a good person, or I'm not, you know, being a good person to my parents. But you should never feel obligated to do it, okay? Never feel obligated to do it. Codependents have a big problem with that. They feel obligated to be a caregiver because, you know, whatever the situation calls for. Maybe it's a situation where they can't really quite leave the dynamic, or they don't, you know, have what it takes resources-wise to leave a dynamic. You should not feel obligated. You should be able to say, I'll take care of you. I want to take care of you, but I am entitled to have my autonomy. I'm entitled to be able to have my own life and, you know, do what makes me happy. Sorry about that, guys. Just give me 2 seconds because I have to put my my phone charger. I'm just having like really crappy luck with batteries and chargers and all that. Okay, guys, so the next one, PTSD after narcissistic abuse. Okay, yes, you can get PTSD from narcissistic abuse. PTSD is not only limited to people who are who have served in the military, who have, I just put up a post on Facebook in regards to it because I'm currently getting through PTSD. Okay, I'm still working through my PTSD, and after narcissistic abuse, PTSD is very it's very heavy energy around you. All right, this is why I always say it's important to heal. Healing is important because, and I'm going to explain to you why. All right, The first thing with PTSD is, well, PTSD is pretty much the outcome of, or the effect of trauma, okay? Whatever trauma that may be, physiological trauma, emotional, psychological, or even physical trauma, all right? It's just kind of like an imbalance in your brain because, you know, you've endured something that's so traumatic that your brain is having a hard time coping with it, okay? So now, when you've endured narcissistic abuse, especially if you've been in relationships with people who are narcissist or narcissistic, you can develop PTSD. In fact, a lot of people develop PTSD, especially when they've never experienced narcissistic abuse, or they have experienced it, but because it was so covert and it was so subliminal, it was just like so subtle that they've managed to suppress those feelings. PTSD is a result of, you know, certain types of trauma. So when people tell you, and this is what pisses me off, when people get out of relationships with narcissists, it pisses me off when people say, it happened, get over it. Move on with your life, okay? That person doesn't care about you. That person did what they did. Just move on with your life. Why do you have to continue talking about it? But just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Listen, guys, if you suffered PTSD, if you're familiar with PTSD, the biggest thing you want to do is to be able to let it go. But PTSD, it doesn't work that way. You can't just turn around, you know, turn over and say, okay, I'm over the abuse. I'm over the effect it had on me emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I'm over it all and I'm ready to move on with my life. No. People who do that are people who suppress. And people who suppress the feelings of PTSD are people who are very dangerous. And I say that because they will eventually get triggered very, very badly, okay? Especially if they have done nothing but suppress those feelings. They will get triggered so badly to the point that they can hurt someone. And I'm talking physically hurt someone. So if you know someone who was in the military and they came back home, you can only imagine half the things they've seen out there. It had a very big, it had a profound effect on their mind, on their emotions, on every part of themselves. It had a very big effect. And if you notice how a lot, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say all, I can't really state the statistics, but if they don't go for help, therapy, psychological help to help them cope with it and learn to live normally here, back home, a lot of them become extremely, well, the first one is paranoid. Now, if you suffer PTSD, you have extreme paranoia, all right? And if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist and you've gone through the whole ordeal with the manipulation, with the gaslighting, with the verbal abuse, physical abuse, any type of abuse that you have dealt with the narcissist, I'm not gonna say contract PTSD because it's not something that you catch. It's something that develops within you. You become extremely paranoid to the point where you don't even want to be involved with anyone. You do not believe in love anymore. Let's put it that way. You think that everyone is a liar. You think that everyone is untruthful, unfaithful. You think that everyone is all the same. You are so afraid, okay? PTSD is that really big base of fear. You are so afraid to get involved with anyone. You're so afraid to be with anyone on that level that you become desolate. You just basically take yourself and put yourself in a dark room in the corner and just don't want anything to do with anyone. Society, anyone. Your life becomes one big void. Okay, and you just pretty much push away anything and everything because that paranoia is so embedded within you that you're so afraid to trust the next person because of what the last person did to you, you will basically push people away. You will push people away. You can become a recluse, which means that you can just try to stay in solitude. You don't really have a life. You are basically just stuck in that energy. You have a barrier around you. You become extremely guarded and extremely guarded. We have guarded people. People are guarded even after breakups, even after certain types of relationships. People become extremely guarded. But when you are suffering PTSD, you're going to have people in your life wondering, are you ever going to be like normal in a sense? Are you ever going to date? Are you ever going to, have a relationship again? I mean, all you do is, I don't know. I don't know how you guys cope with your PTSD. Maybe some of you, all you do is work. I know I do. All I do is work. I go to work. I come home. I take care of my kid. I go to work. I come home. I have a couple of friends, but that's it. My PTSD pushed me to the point that I do not, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't believe in love anymore. I really don't. I don't believe in love. Now, I'm not saying for anyone else. I'm saying for me. I don't believe in it anymore. And it has pushed me to the point that I am not desirous. I was telling Amanda that I am emotionally impotent. I am romantically impotent. I have no desire for it. I have no desire to be with anyone because I am just so I'm just so like turned off by it. PTSD has so many different adverse effects. Relax. That's what it boils down to. I used to be, and anybody could tell you, anybody who knows me can tell you, I used to love love. I used to be in love with love. The idea of being in love, the idea of being in a relationship, the idea of being happy. And, it sounds kind of cliche, but yes, I loved, I used to always want to, I wanted that fairy tale life. I really did. I wanted exactly broken. Yes, relax, broken. And I wanted that. I wanted that fairy tale life. I wanted, walks in the parks. I wanted, days at the beach. I wanted all of these things. And I was always a chipper person. I was always a happy person. I was always just, listen, if I was in the company of of good company, someone who made me, well, which is what brought me to where I am today, unfortunately, because a lot of it was untrue. A lot of it was unreal. And it's kind of sad that it's to that point. But I used to be, the type that just wanted to, I was a hopeless romantic. That's what I was. I was a hopeless romantic. And I was, I loved love. I loved seeing my friends happy. I loved seeing them all in relationships, especially when I was in one, because I was like, oh, look, we're all in relationship. I was that cliched girl. And my days of being a girl, that cliched girl, is over. It is over because now I'm the scorned woman. And now I don't even have, I was listening to my my radio at work earlier today, and they were playing that song Icebox from Omarion. And I'm like, yo, I can't even say I got an icebox there, man. I don't even think I have a heart there. Like, I really do not feel, I don't feel it in my heart. I don't feel it for myself. I don't, I just, I'm not a cold person. It did not turn me cold. It did not make me bitter. It did not make me a nasty kind of person. It didn't make me any of those things. But when it boils down to it, it does suck, relax. It does, because I really believed in love. I believed in it. I believed that unconditional love, because we believe, guys, like we believed that if we gave unconditional love to people, I walked with the idea of, listen, any soft heart can turn a hardened heart soft. You know, you just got to work at it. You just got to continue to, you know, keep pushing. You got to show them, you know, it's okay. And I didn't think ever in my life that I would ever turn this way. I didn't think that I would ever feel this way about love. Never in a million years would have guessed that I felt this way. Or I could feel this way. And it turned out that I'm impotent. I really am. And I have no desire. No, I'm going to be 100 with you guys, because I always keep it 100 with you guys. I have no sexual desires. I have no romantic desires. I just don't have it in me. And that was taken away from me. That was destroyed within me. And even though I do, you know, I do these videos, I do this content for you guys, and I work with you guys, and I walk with you guys through it because my empathy is still there. I thank you, Heather. My empathy is still there. I just don't have it anymore. I really don't. The person who broke my heart, the person who really, which you'll hear more in my story about it, but the person who broke my heart really destroyed me. I'm going to try not to get emotional right now, but he did. And he destroyed, sorry guys. He destroyed, my feelings about it. You know, I always thought that maybe his heart was hardened because, you know, he just didn't meet the right person. He didn't meet the right woman. He didn't meet the right one. And I did everything in my power to try to help him. I thought maybe I can help heal him. I thought maybe I can help, you know, try to be something different for him. And yeah, it definitely is. I was trying, guys. I was trying. Because my heart breaks for you guys too. Because I know the pain. And I know how it feels. So just remember that no matter what, don't let it like push you to that point. You know, maybe one day I will wake up and, you know, maybe I will meet someone who can be the final piece for me. But right now I'm so like, I'm sorry guys. I'm so sorry. I've been good for about 2 years, and this is the first time I'm breaking down. I'm really sorry. I'm trying so hard to stay on course. And Amanda told me too. She said, be comfortable, you know. But I can't help it because part of me still feels it sometimes. Yeah, Heather, it is. And, you know, it just lets me know that I'm human, that I am still human. Part of me is still human, even though I feel the way I do. Part of me, you know, lets me know that I am a human being, and I was a human being, and I'm always going to be a human being. But my feelings on love is just, it really, really is, it was destroyed. It really was, guys. But don't lose faith don't lose hope when it boils down to you. Don't do that, you know, because I mean, I feel the way I do for my own reasons, but I still want to see you guys happy, you know, and I want to hear that you guys have managed to establish healthy relationships with people who care about you and love you and aren't taking advantage of you and aren't making you pay for other people, you know, putting trauma onto them. Okay, relaxed. I just had my own type of breakdown. I actually texted her and just went off about all the stuff she did and lied about, and it didn't bring no closure or nothing. It just brought more hurt. Yeah, it does, because when it comes down to, oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna use a sock to wipe my face. Oh man, you guys got me tearing over here. I'm sorry. But when you expect closure, I don't really think you're gonna get that. You're better off, and it sounds easier said than done, because it's very hard. It really is hard. But you are better off just creating your own. I mean, I always believe that closure means, when you find out they lied to you, when you find out they had been very deceptive, they had been very, I mean, when you see their true colors, you know, you pretty much got your closure. You want, I mean, we all want, and we're human, but we all want the last say, and we all want to be heard. We want to be heard. And a lot of the time, people who deal with narcissists, who have dealt with them, they feel like, damn, you feel like they got one over on you, and you didn't do anything to deserve that. You didn't do anything to deserve that. So you just feel like this was so unfair. This treatment was so unfair. How do people walk the face of this earth treating people like this and get away with it? How do they walk around doing these things to people who cared about them, and people who were, sincere with them and genuine with them? And how did they get away with it? And the fact is that, oh yes, relax. You know what? I'm still in my season of healing. I'm still in my season of healing. It lets me know that what I felt was real. And it lets me know that, I have something that a lot of people don't. And I do have heart. I do. All right, Stephanie, trust factor, level to connect and to build that back up in yourself again. To release those real emotions is very important. I understand. Forget. Yeah, absolutely. Shall, it's okay. You're not breaking down, Queen. This comes in your heart so you can keep elevating higher. PTSD is real and painful. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We still stand strong. That's a task. Yes, thank you, Shao. That is definitely true. It definitely is true. And this is also part of the reason why I won't get involved with anyone, because when you're experiencing PTSD, you can do a lot of damage. You can do a lot of damage, which, after narcissistic abuse, if you don't heal, if you don't take your time to heal, if you don't confront the trauma, if you don't confront the issues, and you just try to think that you're over it, and you try to just like throw it in the back of your head, what you'll end up doing is you'll end up passing that trauma onto someone else. Yes, Andrea, exactly. Relax. Take your time to heal. We all need to continue to take time to heal. I've been 2 years and I'm still healing, and it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot. And to know that sometimes it can still have an effect on you, it doesn't mean that, oh, well, I must still be in that, in that place. You don't have to still be in that place. Sometimes things happen that trigger. We get triggers, right? We get triggers. I mean, listen, the holidays are coming up, so I know a lot of people are going to be triggered. I have, moments where I can't go to certain places. I literally cannot go to certain places because I know I'm going to be triggered. And I know that I'm just now, like these past few months actually, confidently walking around and going to certain places that are like I are very triggersome, but I have no choice. I have to go through these places to go to work. You know, I have to face, I guess this is part of me facing it and becoming more acquainted and comfortable with it. But you know, PTSD is very, it's very serious. It is a very serious deal. And you know, just to know that you are suffering one triggered trauma from yourself, but you're suffering the trauma because everything that they've projected onto you was trauma from their past, was trauma from people who have inflicted pain on them, you know. And even though two wrongs don't make a right, you know, and we don't make excuses for narcissists, we don't make excuses for pathological people, we don't do that. It's like, you know, someone was really that fucked up to you that you got to be that fucked up to me. Someone was really that horrible to you that you got to be that horrible to me, and all I was trying to do was be a good person to you and be a caring person to you. Shout 4 years, see, and you know what, keep doing it. Like we're here, you know, we're here. And I wish, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had some friends, I had a couple of people that reached out to me when I was going through the motions, but I didn't have a real big support system. I didn't have a support team. I didn't have someone say, Erica, you know, let's I'm gonna help you heal. I'm gonna, you know, I had God. That's who I had. God was like, I'm gonna help you heal. And he pushed me, he pushed me to do the right thing. You know, I could have done a lot of different things, and I could have, you know, I could have done worse than the narcissist. Because have you ever seen a very, very extremely pissed off, scorned empath? They're not ones to deal with, man. They're not ones to mess with. People who are very empathic and people who are very, we can absorb energy, you know, we can absorb that dark energy too. And we can be very, thank you, Heather. Thank you. We can be very, we could be very brutal too. Like I could be brutal. I could have been brutal. I could have done things. I could have said things. I could have tried to hurt that person as much as they hurt me, but I just wouldn't do it because it wouldn't make me any better, and it wouldn't make me feel any better. I mean, I never understood how it could make someone feel okay to hurt someone who had genuine intentions for them and just, you know, walk off like if nothing. And it's just like all the stuff that was, you know, was thrown in my face. It was unbelievable, guys. It really was. It was unbelievable. To this day, I couldn't believe it, you know, but you just, I guess that's just a part of, you know, people wearing a mask. You know, you can't believe at the end that's how people are, because, well, you couldn't believe it because you were too busy believing something else, and it just kind of hit you like a ton of bricks. But in PTSD after narcissistic abuse, and mind you, this is mostly if you haven't healed, you know, if you're not properly healing, you begin to compare everyone to the abuser. So you will begin to compare different people to the person or people who have abused you. You know, you may compare certain demeanors, certain dispositions, certain mannerisms, certain situations. It could be anything, you know, the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they look, the way they move. You can begin to start comparing people to the abuser or the abusers that have abused you. And this is, if you're walking, because people with PTSD are walking triggers. They're walking triggers. And this is why I said that when it boils down to narcissists, I believe they have CPTSD. And they're just, you know, they're not dealing with their trauma or their pain like a codependent would. A codependent also has CPTSD. They're dealing with it in a way they know how, which is the abusive way, because they're not very empathic. They were never raised to be empathic people. They were not raised to be sensitive sensible people. They were raised to be, you know, to live in fear that if they showed emotions or they showed sensitivity or feelings, that made them weak. If not healed properly, we begin to self-sabotage and sabotage other people. So in the same way, you may be perceived as a narcissist if you don't heal properly and you're going through PTSD. You can be perceived as a narcissist. So that's again why I encourage people to heal, because if you are walking around unhealed and you're walking around, you know, not with the intention to sabotage, but you end up sabotaging a relationship, or, you know, you end up hurting someone, you know, you could be looked at as being the narcissist, because you will basically kind of flip things around. So you're going, let's say, you know, you're walking with PTSD, you're responding to a situation based on another traumatic experience. Okay? That's similar to what a narcissist is doing as well, in the psychology term of it. But you are responding to situations based on what your PTSD, where it originated from, or, you know, where it was, you know, added from. You know, so people with PTSD will respond to certain matters based on the familiarity of it. So like, for example, you're dating someone, and a situation happens and it brings you right back to a situation that happened between you and the person who abused you. Andre, I think I'm going through something like that. I just stay close to my family. Yeah, I mean, if your family, if your family is supportive, they help you and they guide you, they, you know, they walk with you through it, absolutely. Because you got to release that. You have to release that. If you want any chance of having something healthy and having something potentially great in your life, that's old residual energy, and you have to release it. Yes, Heather, absolutely. Especially if you have, you know, healthy family members. Let's say healthy family is everything. Okay, healthy family is everything. I mean, you know, you don't want to have family that's because I don't know about you, but if you have family members that may try to give you advice, so be careful with that, please. Because, you know, you have people who try to give you advice based on experiences that they've experienced, you know, so they may be trying to help you, but you got to go to people that are not biased, okay? You have to go towards people who are unbiased. That's why therapy is always a good route, because you're going to a professional that, you know, who is unbiased. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to apply what they've experienced into your issues, into what you got going on. And family is great. Don't get me wrong. Family is great. They're great for support. They're great for, you know, helping you cope and helping you deal. But when it comes to certain things that you are facing, especially when it deals with PTSD and it deals with abuse, just be very careful, okay? Because you don't want to have people giving you the wrong type of advice, and then that ends up backfiring or blowing up in your face. You know, you want to go to people that have no conflict of interest, no type of interest in either side's, you know, no type of say so as far as personal wise. They're basically giving you advice based on logic. All right, you need advice based on logic, not emotions, because their emotions are going to get in the mix of it, and then you're going to end up having whatever the heck it is they went through added in there, somewhere in there, incepted somewhere in there, and you don't want to do that. Now, with dealing with PTSD, what you'll end up doing also, you'll leave someone before they leave you. You'll hurt someone before they'd ever get to hurt you. That is a big problem too. All right, it's kind of like that leave before you get left. This all looks a little too familiar to me, so what am I gonna do? I'm going to run. And mind you, unless you get the facts straight, unless you get things in order, you're going to end up sabotaging. We roll right back to that self-sabotage, right back to sabotaging people. You're going to end up doing certain things that resemble what was done to you. Okay? And you guys heard me say it plenty of times. If you don't heal, if you don't get through it, if you don't try to use discernment, you're going to end up you're going to end up acting like the same monster that went and hurt you. And you don't want to do that, because you don't want to hurt someone who had absolutely nothing to do with your trauma. Okay? That's why it's important to not date, not get involved with anyone until you know for a fact that all of that residual nonsense has been released and, and gone. May not be gone completely, because it may still pop in your head every now and then, but when it no longer has an effect on you, that's when you know that you're over it. And of course, well, like I told you, you avoid avoidance. You avoid places, people, occasions, anything that, may trigger you, anything that may bring you back to that pain. You avoid them. You avoid, obviously, the person themselves. You just try to avoid them to the best of your ability. You try not to be around them. You try not to do. I think I more so avoid, not because I fear, not because I'm scared. I think I just more so avoid because I'm afraid of what I might do. And thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. I'm afraid that I might, and which is why I'm really working hard to stay away from certain people. And I'm working really hard to just kind of be in my own element, because I just don't want to be one of those people that's reactive. And as much advice as I give on being, thank you, Andrea, I'll definitely do that. As much advice as I give to you guys about being responsive, don't be reactive. Trust me, I'm working on that too. I'm working really hard on that, because it's hard not to be reactive. But you try to be the bigger person. You try to be the bigger person. You just want to be the bigger person and say, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be in that element anymore. I just want my peace. Your peace becomes so much more important in life that, we avoid because we want our peace. If you're familiar with that, because that's what I do. I avoid because I just value my peace. I value my success. I value everything that I've accomplished to this point. So I can't believe I broke down, guys. I'm still like, but I guess we're human, right? We're human. It happens. So at least you guys know I'm not a robot. I do feel, and when I hear stories and you guys, tell me what happened, and you guys trust me, I feel for you. I do, because I just would never want to see anybody go through any of that. Now, so we learned about the PTSD, on what can happen if we don't heal. If we don't heal properly. And we learned about, the family members, and of course, whether you're dealing with someone who has a narcissist family, or you have a narcissist family. I mean, it can run either way. Learn about the different types of traits, the different characters, the different types of actions. They even got key words, guys. Like it goes beyond just, dysfunctional. They have like key things that they say to each other. They got the ways they look at each other. If they're giving cues to each other, or if they're giving signals to each other, it's just beyond that. So you have to be very discerning and be very, very careful. And just know that if you're dealing with a narcissist, their family is, a narcissist originates from somewhere. So more than likely, it's from their family, obviously. Who it is, that would be for you to determine, because everybody's different. Everybody's completely different. Now, superficiality, when it boils down to a narcissist. I don't know if you've ever dealt with these types of narcs, because you have pathological narcs, and of course you have superficial narcs, okay? And the superficial narcs can easily go into pathological, so don't sleep on that. Don't fall asleep on it. A lot of them like to name drop. Okay, a lot of them like to give the impression that they're important and that they're affiliated with important people. All right, so this probably more goes along the lines, of course, of the somatic narcissist, maybe the cerebral narcissist. But they're braggers. So they like to brag about the things that they have. They like to, just like make it known. Well, I have 200 pairs of Louboutin shoes. I don't know. I'm just using it as an example. Okay, they know that it's expensive. They know that a lot of people cannot afford it, and half the time they can't afford it. But they're braggers in that they won't tell you how they got it, but they'll tell you that they have it. So they won't tell you that they went and used 15 credit cards just to get the damn shoes, but they'll tell you, oh, look, I got these shoes. Because they're impressionists. They do things to impress other people. So they're posers. They're basically posing for the world. So at the end of the day, it's, it's kind of like that. Either I eat or I go into debt buying all of this stuff because I have to keep, making appearances for the world. They're very superficial people. And that's kind of why they never really are able to sustain relationships. They're not able to sustain romantic relationships because we know that relationships require work, dedication, honor, obedience, a lot of different factors in there. Their thing is, look, I just want someone who makes me look good. I just want someone who will cater to me. I just want someone who's going to give to me, and I don't have to give as much in return. And if you have a lot of these superficial narcissists, clearly a lot of them are women, then you will notice a bit of superficial bullshit with them. Andrea, 1 year for me also, and I'm still not, and you still take your time, honey. Take your time. Take your time. I'm still taking mine, okay? I'm on 2 years. Next year we'll make it 3 years. My birthday is coming up in January, and I'm still like, I'm getting older, but I'm getting wiser. So take your time. Do not rush the healing. God didn't rush when he made you. Do not rush when it comes to, what he has planned for you in your life. Heather, January 5th. Thank you, Shal. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I'm gonna be I'm getting old, guys. I'm gonna be 38. And then in 2 more years I'll hit my 40s, and then I already got the gray hairs, so I pulled out 2 of them today. Why? I don't know. I just did. But I'm pretty sure I got way more back there. I'm just not bothering. We're just throwing the red dye and call it a day. Another one is if they own pets, they usually get, purebred animals. They go for the trendy type of pets. Okay. So by trendy, we're talking about like the type of pets that wealthy people would have. It's again, to portray themselves as being, I never understood how that worked. If you have like a little chihuahua or a certain type of pet, like when people walk with them, it makes them look upscale and important. I never understood that. I mean, I love animals, I do, but at the end of the day, it's like you're getting a dog or or an exotic animal just to give people the impression that you're wealthy or that you got you got money, or you're living a certain lifestyle, like maybe like celebrities, or I don't, I just didn't, Heather, I don't understand, like they walk around with the it animals, I guess, the it dogs. I don't know. I don't even know what an it dog is, okay? You see these celebrities walking with their little dogs in their Gucci purses, and I'm like, poor animal. Both the bag and the dog. So I don't know. I don't know which one was worse. I really don't. Designer dogs. That's what they're called? Designer dogs? Really? I never even knew there was a designer dog. I've seen these celebrities with certain types of dogs, like, you know, I mean, they have like really expensive dogs out there. Obviously purebred is expensive because you have a lot of different dogs that are mixed breed. But well, yeah, Paris Hilton, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't even know if she was the one who started that, but it's it was weird when I found that out, that they go for certain types of dogs. I guess maybe they get these dogs because they know these dogs will grab attention, will attract certain type of people. You know, maybe it might attract wealthy people, maybe it might attract you know, highly successful people or famous people or popular, I'm not sure. But when I learned that they get certain animals, it's just to really, it's for attention. That's all it really is for. So you won't find a narcissist going to a pound to get, you know, a dog, a three-legged dog, you know, because the dog needs a home. You won't find a narcissist going to get, a dog that has one eye. You know what I'm saying? Like a disabled dog, or what they would probably classify as a scraggly dog. You won't find them doing that. You'll find them buying, you know, certain types of animals to appeal to the public, to attract people, to, of course, divert attention to them. Amazing. Narcissists not only use people, they use animals too. No fucking winning with them, guys. No winning with them. They follow the latest trends and styles, which I've gone over this with you guys before. So they're not trendsetters, okay? They're really not trendsetters. They are the type to follow what everybody else is wearing. So if 3/4 of the celebrities are, rocking Louis V, then more than likely that's what they're gonna rock. You know, if that's what's in the upscale market, if that's what's out there right now. So, you know, if you got these rappers talking about designer clothes, designer name brands, depending on what it is that they're, that they're putting out there, they're going to make it their business to get these things because, I mean, listen, I don't do designer. I really don't. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They do mirror, Heather. They mirror their supply. And if you are the type of person that not only can afford designer stuff, you can afford certain types of lifestyles, they will try to mirror you on that too. Okay? Just to kind of give you the impression, well, this is how I am. And me, on the other hand, I'm like, listen, I'm broke. Okay? I got too many bills to be sitting here rocking a freaking $2,000 pair of shoes. I'm not doing it. No, not going to happen. Because unless those feet are going to be up in the air to find a way to pay my rent, I'm not doing it. Sorry, not going to happen. But they will do it, though. They will do it. And again, they're very irresponsible people. So they will put themselves, put themselves through debt to really just impress people. That's all it is. It's to give the impression that they're very important and to incept in their minds that they have a high level of importance, and you need to see that and you need to believe that. So, as they would put it, get on their level. And of course, they have to be surrounded by people who will make them look good, whether it be physically making them look good, meaning that they have trophy, boyfriends or trophy girlfriends, that, are successful. Okay. So if you're one who's very well known, if you have, success in your life, if you're in the public eye, if you're pretty much someone who, you could be someone that a lot of people want, they find it their, obligatory duty to grasp the attention of people like that. All right. They're just nothing but posers, guys. That's all they really are. They are nothing but posers. They are about as fake as my eyelashes, okay? And these mofos are magnetics, okay? Just so you know. I keep it 100. Okay, yes, I do. I sometimes wear fake eyelashes because I have eyelashes looking like I singed my eyelashes off. Okay, that's how small they are. So yes, I do wear eyelashes. But they're posers. That's really what they are. They're posers. They just give you this impression. Listen, the devil was once an angel. Need I say more? You know, the devil was once an angel, and if he can manage to utilize the light, this is why God says, test the spirits, because if he could utilize the light to deceive you, a narcissist can utilize a mask to deceive you too. All right. And at the end of the day, these people are just people that you need to stay away from. You really need to stay away from them, guys. Don't get involved. If you recognize any of the signs, if you're dealing with people, you recognize certain things going on, don't do it. Please don't do it. If they come back to you and they say, I've changed and you know, I'm a completely different person. I mean, I can't tell you guys what to do, but don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't put yourself through that again. Do not put yourself. And if you are going through your healing and you see how hard it is to heal and you see how hard it is to get through it, you really, really owe yourself not to do it again. Not to do it again, because that kind of pain is just some kind of pain that some people do not recover from. Some people do not recover from it. Some people have committed suicide because of it. Some people have lost their ability to I think I'm more on that scale. I lost my ability to believe. I really have. And that was just like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. But if you have the opportunity to be in a healthy relationship with someone else, someone who's going to appreciate you, who's going to love you for who you are, and you know, just be happy to be in your presence, be with you for you, have fun with you. You're quirky, but they love it. You know, even if you're boring, that's okay. You like to Netflix and chill, but they love it. They love that about you. You know, I mean, listen, I'm corny sometimes, but if somebody loves it about me, then hey, that's fine by me, because at least you're getting to be who you are. You don't have to pose. You don't have to pretend to be anybody that you're not. You're being yourself, and you got people who love you for it. You know, compared to being with someone who made you feel some kind of way and made you feel like, you know, this was it, made you feel like this was the last and final relationship, and you just got the rug ripped from right underneath you, you know. And it's crazy because if you guys notice, I have a tattoo on my chest. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever read it, but I have this tattoo on my chest. I had this tattooed on my chest, I want to say almost 10 years ago. And I really stick by this tattoo because it's like my shield. And it says, show no love, feel no pain. Show no love, feel no pain. And I tried to live by it. I tried to stay with it. I tried to stay with the motto. And of course, I wanted to, you know, I wanted to just, you know what, give it another shot. I find I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance. And each and every time, it showed me why it was there. And people would see my tattoo, and people would walk past me and they'd be like, what does that read? And I would read it to them. And they're like, do you really feel that way, Erica? And I'm like, you know what? Part of me does, but I'm having hope. I was holding on just a little bit. I was holding on by a thin rope. Okay. And even my ex told me when he saw this tattoo, he told me, he says, you know what? If we get married, you have to have that tattoo removed. And I said, I will have this tattoo removed if we do get married, if we even get to that point. Okay? But I have to have a reason to have it removed. Otherwise, it's staying right where it's at, and it's not going anywhere. And I knew almost 10 years ago that I got this tattoo for a reason. I knew I got this tattoo for a reason. And I'm not putting all the full blame on other people. So don't think that I'm sitting here blaming everybody else for the dysfunction and the toxicity and the reason why it didn't work out. I'm not putting the full blame on them because I know I played my role. I know I played my part as far as I'm concerned. But I was not being deceptive. I was not being hurtful. I was not lying. I was not cheating. I was not doing any of those things. Okay? And at the end of the day, I may have been who I was, but I was always a solid person when it came down to these people. And I just got looked at like I was desperate for a relationship. I was desperate to be in love. I was desperate to have something to hold on to. And, maybe my codependency did play a part in that. But at the end of the day, for someone to sit there and tell me, Erica, sometimes I think all you're just concerned about is just this relationship and nothing else. Tell that to someone who didn't work 80 hours a week, okay? Because I did a lot more in my life than just try to contribute to a relationship. I worked 80 hours a week to take care of my son, pay my bills, be independent, make sure my son is good, not rely on anyone, not depend on anyone. And I did all of that on my own. So for someone who was, codependent, I was pretty independent. Relax. I strongly believe people change and can be different in their behavior and be different in their way of living. But I also believe that if that is true, that they have changed, they can be for someone else. When you finally fall in love with the right person, you're going to have to remove that tattoo or cover it up. Still here. Still there. I would have been more than willing to remove it because I thought that was it. I thought, listen guys, I'm not sitting here shaming my ex. I'm not sitting here bashing him. I'm not doing any of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you guys. He was a good father, which was a lot of this, had made me confused. He was a very good father. He is a good father, I should say. I admired his dedication to taking care of his child because that said a lot to me. That did say a lot to me. It showed me, because he did show me certain things with his child that put me on that. I think you would be, if we ever had kids, you would be a good dad and you do everything that you possibly needed to do. He was a hard worker. There were good qualities about him, guys. There were. And even when I went for my closure, I told him, I don't think you're a narcissist. And narcissistic, yes. Yes, I believe so. But I believe that's more because of the avoidance and because of the feeling of having to self-fulfill, like I don't need to rely on nobody. I'm not relying on anyone. I'm doing it for myself. I don't need anybody. I don't believe he's a narcissist. I believe he's extremely narcissistic. I believe that he was abused by narcissists and he utilized that abuse and he applied it to me. He applied it to me and he never, I honestly believe that he was suffering PTSD and I was kind of in the crossfire of that. He never got over his trauma. And I'm going to go more into detail with that when I do my video. But he never got over his trauma. But I don't hate him. I don't hate him as a person. I don't hate him for what went down between us. I think he was very wrong for how he did it. And I mean, some of you guys are on my Instagram, so you already know my final words. I gave my final release. He was very wrong for how he did it. He was very wrong for what he said to me. And the words that he said, they're burned in my brain, man. They're burned in there. It's not even, it's not etched. It's burned in my head. It's burned in there. And it's not something that I could just take, take out. It's not something that I could just, man, fuck it, whatever. So you feel that way, whatever. No. Those words were very, very near and dear to me because they were things that I told him in confidence, that I told him trusting him with, and he threw them in my face. He threw it in my face. Yes. Relax says, let's say it out loud in Jesus' name that you are healed, that we are healed, and if God brings us the right person, that we are ready to receive it. Amen. Amen. And listen, guys, if you are ready to receive that love, you got to be in that mind state. You got to be in that mind frame, okay? God doesn't work with doubt. He doesn't work with doubt. He doesn't work with fear. You have to be in a very positive mind state, and you have to be in a healed mind frame. You can't do it from I'm not fully healed, but I think I'm good. Nope, you got to heal. You have to heal. If it does not affect you anymore, if you don't feel like talking about it anymore, to the point where you're like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore, then you know you're healed. Then you know you're healed. So God's going to point you in directions. Just make sure you follow. Make sure you follow him, okay? Make sure you do what's best for you. You do the right thing for you, all right? But guys, thank you so much for letting me vent, for letting me open up, for letting me just be human in front of you. I work hard, I study hard, and I try to, keep the most positive, upbeat attitude and because I like to encourage people. I like to encourage people to motivate them. And that breakdown was not expected. It was not intended. But once the tears came out, you can't control it. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. And but thank you all for being sympathetic and empathetic. You guys really don't know how much that means to me. It really means a lot. And to know that I have people in my circle, in my tribe, on my channel that are just such kind, warm-hearted people, it does mean a lot. And it's very, very comforting in knowing that you guys are here. And I love doing these lives for you. I love talking to you all. I love giving you whatever information you need. And next week I'll be good. I'll be good next week. I'll be good. But we're human. We have our slips, we have our falls, and it's okay. It's okay. That's what makes us human. Now we just gotta, when we fall, we get back up, right? So that's what we're going to do. And take it one day at a time. That's all we can do, guys. Okay? So if you're dealing with PTSD, one day at a time, therapy helps. If you're dealing with, emotional baggage, psychological, anything, one day at a time, and get the proper help you need. You're still going to cry. You're still going to yell. You're still going to feel angry. You're going to feel all of these things. But at the end of the day, you're releasing it, and that's what's important. But guys, I'll just, whatever was left over, I'm gonna put it in next week's live. I'm going to work on this video, and just so we know, it's not a video to, like I said, to shame, to hurt anyone, to make anyone feel, any kind of way. Amanda, I think we should. We can change it up a little bit, but I think it would be a good idea. I could use a laugh. So we'll definitely just text me. I guess when I log off, you can text me and we'll figure it out. But so much for keeping it. Like Amanda told me, Erica, you sure you want to do a live? Maybe you shouldn't do the live, but I mean, hey, I'm glad I did it for you guys. I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that you guys were able to join me. I'm glad you were able to be there. You were able to be there to catch my tears, and that means a lot to me, guys. It really does. So thank you very much. Heather, actually, Amanda, I'm going to email you. I'm going to email you, okay? Amanda, I can see what can pop. Oh, well, no popping. No, nothing popping, please. My nerves are already on edge. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. I don't understand how my phone is ringing and I have it on Do Not Disturb. All right, guys. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for being there. If you enjoyed the little bit of information I was able to give to you besides my life story, partial life story, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions, then please leave them in the comment section. If you have any ideas on maybe what you would like for me to talk about next week, or, you know, anything in particular that, you know, you think I should cover, please let me know. My email will be in the description box, so you can either leave me a comment or you can send me an email, however way you want to do it. And I'm just like, I'm a little, you know, I got really emotional today. So when I'm in my emotions, I get a little loopy. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being a great support system. Thank you for being a, you know, for helping being my backbone in this, because I truthfully do not know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm doing it. I'm trying. And as long as I'm reaching out to the people who really need it, that's what matters to me. So you're very welcome, Heather. You're very welcome. And thank you. Thank you. Relax. Yes, talking is absolutely good. It is definitely good. And little by little, I'm letting it out, little by little. So I'm gaining my strength one day at a time. And I think that's what helps the healing, is when you have people who want to heal together and work together. So that's always important. But I got to go dye my hair before I go to bed and get myself in order. So thank you again, guys, for joining me. Hope to see you all next week. I will be sure to let you guys know when I'm going to upload the video. And hopefully you guys won't cry as much as I do. But we'll try to keep it as minimal as possible. So guys, you all have a great night. Have a great Tuesday night. And love you all, guys. Really do. I really appreciate you all too. Have a great night. Heather, you have a great night too. And I will speak to you all next week. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday. We're going to do this. So guys, love you guys. Namaste. Good night, guys.